Hello everyone and welcome to the lecture of Mechanical System Design, in which we are learning about design of IC engine components. In the last lecture we completed the design of connecting rod, and in this lecture we will be studying about design of crankshaft. This will be the last lecture in the unit design of IC engine components. The functions of an IC engine are to transform oscillatory motion from connecting rod into the rotary motion. Additionally, in some cases, a crankshaft can carry lubricating oil from the main bearing to the crank pin through a hole drilled along its components. Crankshaft is continuously subjected to cyclic reversible loads, hence it should have very high fatigue strength and high resilience. Therefore, the materials used are medium carbon steel or alloy steel with alloying elements such as nickel and chromium. Owing to the requirement of strength and due to the shape of a crankshaft, the preferred manufacturing process is the forging more than the casting. Now on the right hand side of this slide you can see a figure depicting the construction of a crankshaft. So let us understand various components of a crankshaft and important dimensions in it. A crankshaft consists of two pins. The main pin is called as shaft, which is assembled in the bearings. These bearings are inside the crankcase of an engine. The other pin is offset from the main pin, which is called as crank pin. A crank pin is assembled inside the big end of the connecting rod. The main pin and crank pin, that is the shaft and crank pin, are separated by a distance denoted by R and called as crank radius. These two pins are connected with each other by a component called as crank web. The additional mass which is put onto the crank web is required for balancing of the crankshaft. Now let us understand various important dimensions in this crankshaft. DCP is the diameter of the crank pin. LBC is the length of the crank pin. TW is thickness of the crank web. BW is the width of the crank web. D is the diameter of the shaft. The reactions offered by the bearing are separated by a distance denoted by 2 into Ls. You can see a oil gallery is drilled across the crankshaft. It carries the oil from the main bearing to the connecting rod bearing. Crankshafts can be of two types. If a crank pin is sandwiched between two crank webs and it is supported by two bearings, then it is called as center crankshaft. In some cases, crank pin will not be sandwiched between two crank webs, whereas it will have only one crank web and one bearing to support it. In that case, it is called as overhung crank. An overhung crank looks like pedal of a bicycle. Once we have understood the construction of a crankshaft and various dimensions pertaining to it, let us start understanding design of a crankshaft. Design of crankshaft consists of designing its three main components such as crank pin, web and shaft. Let us first understand design of the crank pin. The maximum load on a crank pin is the gas force, which will act on the center of this crank pin through the connecting rod. Now the stresses in the crank pin are due to bearing pressure, direct shear and bending. So the methodology is we calculate the important dimensions of a crank pin, that is length and diameter, from bearing pressure perspective, and then we will check this design for direct shear and bending failure. As far as bearing pressure is concerned, it can be calculated by the formula given over here. The maximum gas force is being supported by the force due to the bearing pressure. Force due to bearing pressure is the projected area given by LBC into DCP multiplied by the pressure, that is PB, where PB is the permissible bearing pressure between the crank pin and the connecting rod bearing. Its value is taken as 7 to 8 Newton per mm square for splash lubricated bearings and 8 to 12 Newton per mm square for pressure lubricated bearings. Now in this formula, Fg max and Pb is known. A relationship is assumed between LBC and DCP with the help of which both the dimensions can be calculated. Now the diameter and this length is checked for direct shear failure and bending failure. Considering the shear stresses, the maximum gas force is being resisted by the resisting cross section into the shear stress induced into the material of the crank pin. Let us understand, when the force Fg max is acting onto the crank pin, these two cross sections, which are circular in shape, are resisting the shear failure. Hence, pi by 4 dCp square is the resisting cross section area multiplied by 2, since there are two such areas, which is multiplied by the shear stress induced in the material. The shear stress induced in the crank pin has to be less than the allowable shear stress of the material. This condition has to be checked. Now the bending stress in the crank pin can be calculated by sigma BC is equal to My by I, which is nothing but a flexural formula. Now Mb is the maximum bending moment, which is given by Fg max LBC upon 8, which is the formula of a simply supported beam subjected to point load at the center, or uniformly distributed load over the length of the crank pin. Ycp is the distance of the extreme fiber from the neutral axis given by dCp by 2. Icp is the area moment of inertia of the crank pin about its diameter. It can be given by pi by 64 dCp raised to 4. After substituting all these values, the simplified formula is 4 Fg max LBC upon pi dCp cube. Again, the calculated value of LBC and dCp are inserted in this formula to calculate the bending stress. The bending stress induced in the crank pin has to be less than sigma allowable, and then we can say the design of crank pin is safe. The crank wave is designed for two conditions, such as when the gas force is maximum. Now this situation occurs when the piston is at TDC, and when twisting force is maximum, which occurs when the crank wave and connecting rod is at right angle. Now we can easily make it out from the geometry that when the crank wave and connecting rod are at right angle to each other, at that time theta plus phi is equal to 90 degrees. Let us understand the first condition, that is when gas force is maximum. When the gas force is maximum, the wave is subjected to crushing. Again, let us refer this figure. This is the situation, exact situation, when the piston is at TDC. And now this wave is subjected to the crushing force, which is a very high compressive force. Under the action of this force, the crushing stress is calculated as force applied divided by the resisting cross section. Since there are two crank waves, the maximum gas force is half over here, which is Fg max upon 2, and the resisting cross section area is dCp into Tw, which is thickness of the crank wave. From this formula, thickness of the crank wave can be calculated if the crushing strength of the material of crank wave is known. Considering the second condition, that is when twisting force is maximum, we have already discuss that this will be a right angle triangle when the twisting force is maximum. In this right angle triangle, tan theta can be given as opposite side upon adjacent side, which is L by R. L by R is denoted by N0, which is nothing but the obliquity ratio. Thus, the twisting force is maximum when tan theta is equal to obliquity ratio. For example, if the obliquity ratio is 3, then the maximum twisting moment will occur when the crank has turned an angle equal to around 72 degrees. Now the first task for designing against twisting force is to calculate the Conrod force F. This force acts along the connecting rod, which is function of the force Fr, which is acting along the axis of the cylinder. The resultant force Fr is addition of the gas force plus inertia force due to the reciprocating components. The gas force is given by area of the piston into the gas pressure. So it is pi by 4 d square into P. The inertia force is given by mr omega square cos theta plus cos 2 theta upon n0, where m is the mass of reciprocating components and omega is the angular speed of the engine. From these two formulae, the Conrod force F can be calculated, which will be used for the further design. Now when twisting force is maximum, the wave of a crank is subjected to bending, but now this bending is in a different plane. Again, the bending stress of the crank wave is given by my by I, which is again a flexural formula, in which m is the maximum bending moment given by F into moment arm, which is given by R minus d by 2. Let us understand from where this R minus d by 2 is coming. Again, refer to this figure. The Conrod force will act along this line, and from this point to this point, this distance is considered as the moment arm. This distance is radius of a crank minus radius of the shaft. Therefore, it is R minus d by 2. Y is the distance of the extreme fiber from the neutral axis. Again, in this diagram, this is the neutral axis about which bending is taking place. So the distance of extreme fiber is Bw by 2. I is the area moment of inertia of the wave, which has got a rectangular cross section. For a rectangle, the area moment of inertia is dw Bw cube by 12. We have such two crank waves, so the thickness is appearing over here twice. By substituting all these equations, we will get the final bending stress in this fashion. Since Tw we have already calculated from the previous criteria, we can calculate Bw from this formula, and the design of crank wave is over. Now let us come to the last component, that is shaft. Just like crank wave, the shaft is designed for two similar conditions, that is gas force is maximum and when the twisting force is maximum. When the gas force is maximum, piston is at TDC and the shaft is subjected to pure bending. This situation is similar to a simply supported beam subjected to point load at the center, which is Fg max in this case. Again, bending stress in the shaft is given by the flexural formula My by I. The maximum bending moment is force into distance between two reactions divided by 4. That is Fg max 2Ls upon 4. The distance between the extreme fiber and neutral axis is a d by 2, where d is the radius of diameter of the crank. Is is the area moment of inertia of a shaft about its diameter, given by pi by 64 d raised to 4. Substituting all these terms, we get the final equation for the bending stress in the shaft. If the material property is known, then the diameter of the shaft can be calculated from this formula. By using the second formula, that is twisting force is maximum, the equivalent torque is calculated by under root m square plus q square. Since we know under these conditions the shaft will be subjected to combined torsion and moment. The moment will be given by F into 2 Ls upon 4 and the torque will be given by F by 2 into R, where capital F stands for the connecting rod force which we have calculated in the previous step. By substituting these values, we will get the equivalent torque. The shear stress induced due to this torsion of the equivalent torque is given by 16 Te upon pi d cube. From this formula, we can also calculate the diameter of the shaft. Thus, diameter is calculated from both the conditions and the larger diameter obtained from these two equations is chosen as the diameter of the shaft. In this way, all three components, that is crank pin, wave and shaft, can be designed for the entire crankshaft. So if you find this video useful, you can like it, share it. If you have some questions, doubt, suggestions, you can comment on this video. If you find this channel useful for your technical knowledge, please subscribe it. Thank you.